corporate recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is, I don't know, you didn't tell me. This person just said software engineer. Normally, I would put the keywords up here, but here's the thing, recruiters are not actually looking for keywords, we are looking for qualifications. And the difference is keyword plus how you use the keyword, plus the reason or result of using the keyword, plus where you used it, is what a qualification is. So keywords are part of it, which again, normally would be up here, but like, I don't know what kind of engineer you are. Software engineer is so broad. It's like someone saying they're afraid of bugs when they're actually afraid of spiders, right? Spider is a bug. A bug is not necessarily a spider. A back-end Python software developer is a software engineer, but a software engineer may not necessarily be a back-end Python software developer. So again, you need to tell me what. So the person stated, the resume submitted to you is for a certain JD. Well, by the time I review it, it's probably too late. You need to apply early. The faster you apply, the better your chances. You cannot wait around to apply for a perfect resume. I know, it sounds weird because I'm teaching you all how to have perfect resumes, but the way ATSs work is, well, first come, first serve. So by the time you wait and delay, there's already another 300 people ahead of you and you will not get seen. So I am in the Midwest, moved to the East Coast for a partner's career. While applying, I've been doing netcode, all questions to prepare for Amazon stuff. Also, despite having clearance, it's hard finding clear jobs here, the remote or clear jobs. Yeah, I mean, clearance jobs all want you to be on site, which is, I don't know why they do that. I've only worked with them like briefly, but clearance jobs require you to be on site half the time. So you're probably not going to find a lot of remote ones. I've applied to over 100 jobs since August 2025 and received countless rejections from non-defense jobs. Yeah, I mean, you're hundreds of jobs is not enough. Like, look, I really wish I could say that with the absolute perfect resume, your ratio, which is how many applications it takes to get an interview, will be 1 in 2 or something. But anything below a 1 in 50 is good. So if you are sending out 30 applications and getting 2 interviews for those 30, that's fantastic. Most people who use my advice and do it right end up getting about a 1 in 7, but they usually get an offer before they can fully count the new number of applications. So 100 is just not enough in the equivalent of 2 to 3 months. You need to apply at a minimum of 50 per week. That's the goal. So you're already behind there. I reached out to recruiters on LinkedIn and also fixed up my LinkedIn. Yeah, reaching out to recruiters on LinkedIn doesn't do anything. I hate that popular myth of like, oh, you just have to reach out to the recruiter. No, you know how you reach out to the recruiter is you apply early so we can see your resume. That's how. Now, if you got recommended to a recruiter by somebody who is working with that recruiter, that can work. But just randomly cold outreach is no. I get about 3 to 4 of those a day, and there's nothing I can really do to help those people. I'm using Gemini with corpus of all, I think you meant AI, for my resumes, and give it a JD, the best word. Did I read that wrong? No, you wrote that wrong. And I give it to the JD to give the best worded sentences. It looks like it makes so many mistakes. Well, yeah, AI is terrible for resumes. It's just bad. Like, I'm not like, oh, recruiter hates AI because it gets past them. I would actually be perfectly fine if AI worked for candidates, but AI resumes are bad. The tech is not there yet to make a good resume with AI. It's not there. Let's see. Usually I fix it. I add freelancing to my resume because I graduated at the end of 2019. The economy was in shambles. Okay, so cool. That did not give me a ton of context, but I really would prefer people to give me context than no context. And I'd prefer people to write out 4 paragraphs rather than nothing. So thank you for at least telling me your situation. Now, here's my problem is I don't know what to review this as. Because, again, if I'm looking for a full-stack software engineer, I'm going to look for that differently than I would for a back-end Python developer. Also, I do non-coding resumes as well, which I think the next one is not a coded-based resume. But let's see if I can at least tell what type of recruiter, what type of engineer you are, and go. Okay, experience resilience by optimizing. Okay, I didn't need anything there. CI/CD I would need, but I need more. Nothing here is related. This is bad. Okay, I mean, I still have 20 seconds, but this makes me think that you're not actually an engineer. Python is at least something, and then Jira and Bitbucket. Okay, I don't know how to salvage this resume because I don't know what you did. And this is the problem with AI resume, is it gives me no context. What do you mean enhanced system resilience? That's a nonsense word. What? You integrated an LLM API to process and analyze data. Okay, but why? What was the full stack from Full Stack app? You didn't tell me. Why do I care that you utilized Jira and Bitbucket and Confluence for project management and documentation? I want a software engineer, not a project manager. And even for a project manager, I don't think I'd be looking for that. And then you go down here, and this is at least something of what I'd want. But, like, this whole resume is nonsense. Also, your formatting is bad. This is the formatting you should use. This is on my website. The link is below in the link tree. It's free. It will help you a lot, although you do need good bullet points as well, because even the best formatting doesn't matter with bad bullet points. But this is hard for me to review because I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, you could apply to a bunch of software engineer jobs, and every single one of them would look at this and be like, well, they don't have the skills I need for this particular role because it's too generalized. Which is why AI is bad at it. Is because it's so whitewashed to the point where what we need is specific and we can't move you forward for it. Like, and plus these dates are confusing. Okay, so why were you only at these jobs for like 3 months each? This is a bit of a red flag. I mean, honestly, if anything, you may even want to remove these entirely because you've only been there for, 4 months? 2 full-time roles that were 4 months each? That is a giant red flag to people. A gap would look better than that. And then we go down here. Okay, so you at least have the work experience is solid. At least that's a year and a half-ish. Although here, then we go into ML. Like, this is the problem. These are all so separate to be useless. And then you're a junior engineer for about a year and a half. So yeah, like, you may even want to completely delete these because, like, why were you only there for 3 months? Why were you only there for 3 months? Oh, there's like 5, but still. You have more jobs than years, and that looks bad. I would personally probably delete this and then focus on what you actually want to do because, bro, I don't know what it is. I could not move you forward in any role because you don't have enough for Python backend. You don't have enough experience for full stack. You don't have enough experience for ML AI engineer roles. You don't have enough experience for front end stuff. Like, this is the problem with AI, is it creates this mess that is just adjacent to what I'm looking for, but I'm still not looking for it. And I don't know what to tell you to fix about the sentences because I don't know what you do. And you did not tell me. You did not specify what type of stuff you did in this entire page. All I know is that you either left or got laid off or fired from these couple of jobs, which is not a good look. It's not your fault. I want to be clear. The economy is in shambles right now, and we are, in fact, in a recession. Probably have started to go into it since 2022, but it's still a bad look. Like, I would rather you delete these than just show this, because the gap at least shows that you had work experience. This shows like you're a job hopper. So I'm going to need context in the comments below to help you, because I truly don't know. This is a wild way to start my 300th video, so thank you all for watching, by the way, for 300 episodes. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for liking and commenting and subscribing and sharing it to your friends and family. I appreciate that, and I bet they will too once they get the help they need from me. And if you ever need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And I just... like, I'm not saying this stuff for this person to be mean, right? Like, I want to be clear here. I'm not saying, oh, you're garbage. Or I'm saying the job market is awful. We are in a recession. Jobs are getting gutted left and right. Your resume and how you apply does need to be a specific way to get seen. Is this the way the world should be? No, of course not. In fact, if the world was perfect, I don't think recruiters would exist, which, you know what, I would actually be happy with. If the world was so good that nobody had any problems hiring and recruiters did not need to exist, I would be happy and I would find another profession. But that is not the world that we live in. We live in a world where this matters even if it's not your fault, and I want to make sure you're aware of that so that you can fix it, so that you can get employed and survive the recession. Next resume. This is a continuous improvement specialist. And again, I couldn't find these jobs. I don't think this is the title you think there are, because there are continuous improvement managers, there are continuous improvement specialists, there are continuous improvement consultants, and the problem is all of those were different things. So I don't know which of those roles you're going for. Mr. or Mrs. Random, which is really caught me in the first part. I thought that was funny. I need you to be a little more specific. I can't find roles if they're too vague, right? And the most important part of making your resume is finding those keywords by finding about 15 job titles that you qualify for and making an aggregate list of those qualifications. If you don't do that, your resume is doomed from the start. Like, that actually is the most critical part, is before you even write the formatting, before you write your bullet points, is make sure your resume is tailored to the job title that you want. And I could not find enough of these. So I'm not sure if this is just very niche, which it might be, or alternatively, I got the wrong stuff, or these are called something different in the market. But let me read what you wrote, which is, it's been extremely difficult due to my non-traditional career path. I've been leading or co-leading impact projects in the companies I worked for, though even though my titles and experience says mid-level, it looks more senior. I wouldn't even notice that. The disconnect between my years of experience and the impact I've had at my TC. What's a TC? What is your What is TC? You said it twice. I don't actually. Is that curriculum? No, I don't know what you mean by that. More senior at my current TC. I assume job? Technical consultant? I'm not sure. I have about a 50% hit rate to get a screen call from a recruiter. Okay, that's fantastic. 50% of the time, the first round interviews would go well, that they passed me on in the final round. I had one that went really well that I prepped and coached me how to do well in the final round. It falls apart due to three things. Not credentialed enough for mid-level and senior roles, basically the lack of degree, yep. Not having enough experience managing direct reports, despite having experience leading cross-functional teams. You need to show, if you're going for management, you need to show that you have, and I'm going into my mind palace to remember this correctly, is you need to show that you have hired, fired, and given performance reviews. Those three things are like the magical numbers for managers, is hired, fired, performance reviews. If you have not hired, fired, and done performance reviews, your chances are pretty low. Let's see. So what else? Experience reports or the offer is well below my TC. What is current TC? Total compensation. Okay, I've never heard anybody just say TC instead of total comp. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, your total compensation. Never know they know your acronyms. Okay, they would budge a bit, but not by much, and the offer would be rescinded or I reject their final offer. I like my environment, but the work is pretty rough, hence the job hunt. So, look, bro, I'll be perfectly honest with you. If you're getting 1 in 50 hit rate, it's fantastic. I don't need to review it. This is not part of the industry I've done before, and I couldn't look it up. You might have everything perfect, but your issue might be one more of expectations. And this is normally something I do in my live stream more than this, but I want you to still at least get value of this because you waited, and there's not like, it doesn't matter how good or bad this resume is. If this is niche enough that you were getting 1 in 50, fantastic. Like one in every 2, right? Fantastic. I don't think I could really give you any improvements on it because you're hitting the right stuff, but it's entirely possible that the reason you are struggling is, man, I hate saying this. I really hate saying this. You might be overpaid based on your total work experience. And the reason you're having trouble finding it is because they slapped golden handcuffs on you. So this is a recruitment term where basically you find somebody that is incredibly talented, that can do well, and then you pay them so far above market that they can't leave. They can't find something that is better than this because this is the best that they can do for that. And while I don't know your individual industry, based on what you wrote, based on the amount that you've got, like what you wrote to me, I'm going to make an educated guess is that you currently at your current job have golden handcuffs. And the reason you can't find a job that takes you because you either don't have enough experience or the pay is too low or total comp is because of those golden handcuffs. Is that you may not find that until you get more experience, because it sounds like you don't have the experience managing direct reports, which they need, right? That is, if you did not hire, fire, or do performance reviews, you probably won't move forward as a manager. That is critical. They eat that up. They need that. And that is one thing it says that you either don't have, right? And the other thing you said is it's low, like when you attempt to negotiate, is they're not because you're overpaid. And I really hate saying that, right? Like I really, really, really do. I don't like telling candidates they're overpaid, but this is a thing that can happen is they will slap this like so much money above market that why would you leave? Right? You're not necessarily getting the skills that you need. You're just, you found it. You find the best. You said your current place is a bit toxic. Well, yeah, that's why. That's why they keep you, is that salary is so high. So if you want to get out, you may have to judge, is the money worth the mental health? And I can't tell you that because that's going to depend on the person. Because yeah, if you're getting rejected for the mid-level senior because you don't have the degree or the direct managing, it means you're not super qualified for those. Unfortunately, that is something they met. It means you don't have those qualifications. And everything that you are getting is below your comp. It screams to me as golden handcuffs. So I hope you at least got some value of this. And again, this is more of the stuff I usually do on my stream than on this video, but there's not much that matters in the resume, right? Like, this is not a resume problem. If you're getting a 1 and 2, then who cares? You're doing it right. But it really sounds like you need to tailor your expectations. That, we're in a recession. It's entirely probable they are paying you way above market rate because they're so bad to work for, so they keep their people. And you're just not gonna get it. So I hope I'm wrong. Right? I want to be wrong. I want you to get more money. I make more money when other people make more money. But I wanted to tell you the truth from what I can tell based on what you've said. So if you have any other context below, feel free to share it in the comments. But we're going to go to the next resume, which hopefully I can actually find. I'm going to make sure I can actually get the qualification for this because I don't like doing 2 in a row that don't have the actual keywords and qualification. So the next one will have it. Next resume. This is a full stack software engineer. And yes, I actually have the keywords for this one, because I know what full stack is. So, full stack, we need degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, GraphQL, SQL, API, RESTful API, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, .NET or Python or Java, and bonus points for architecture, extra knowledge, getting DevOps. So, can I find that in 20 seconds? I don't know. This person said a 1 in 25. I don't know if that's accurate. No, it's not. They said, no interviews so far. I'm really looking for professional advice. Okay, so, go. All right. Can't use anything here. We have your degree. Developed a research API. Research API is fine. Okay, but what else did you do? RESTful is nice. There's no full stack, though. I don't see full stack. Developed the web apps using English Nigerian. That's really cool. Built full stack with React, Tailwind, and Fast API. Okay, that's it. So first off, I am a United States-based recruiter. I have gotten people jobs in the EU, Canada, I think Mexico, Africa, and the United Kingdoms. My advice is and Australia. So my advice does work globally, but it doesn't work as well as it does in the US in other places. So it's only about 95%, 90% effective compared to 100% effective in the US. And while I have gotten people jobs in Africa, I do know that Africa is a very big place with a bunch of different, states, countries. I'm not sure, geographically. And they're all pretty different. So this is only based on the United States, as if you were a U.S. citizen or green card holder or H-1B or OPT. That is the advice I have to coach it towards, so just be careful when you apply it in your own place. So the first thing is your formatting's bad. This needs to look like this. Here, none of this matters. Summaries don't matter. Education, fine. We don't... So first off, there's a typo here. Again, I'm not usually too picky about typos. This says you're graduating in 2049. That's probably a mistake. I don't need that, though. I don't need to know when you started. So when you put your degrees in, you don't need to tell me when you started. You just need to tell me that you got it when you graduated or that you graduated. That's it. Then we go down here, and the problem is none of this is full stack. The only thing I see is API. And then down here in this technologies used section, I also only see SQL and cloud. This is not that. This is what I'm looking for full stack. This is specific. Remember, if your resume is too broad, if you're trying to get into back-end and front-end and full stack, despite those both equaling full stack, you will fail. You need to be specific in your resume, and this is not specific enough for a full stack. Then we get down to here. I actually really like that you told me this because it tells me what the app is, and then instead I would say created a web-based language learning app using, and then you can put some of this stuff in, that helps users learn English and Nigerian languages like Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. I'm probably mispronouncing those, and I'm really sorry. I'm terrible at pronunciation. Through speech, different practices, through API. So I just need you to put this stuff up here. And then here, full stack MVP. What's MVP? Is it most valuable product? Is it most valuable person? Is it none of those? I don't know, but never assume people know what your acronyms are. Just like the last person that said TC, I know what total comp is. I have literally never heard that in my entire recruiting career. I've talked a lot about compensation. I've never heard the acronym TC for it. So never assume they know what your acronyms are, except for AWS for some reason. AWS is fine. And then here I just need more. So your problem is just it does not read like a full stack dev. It reads a little bit like a Python developer. But again, you stated full stack. If you're looking for full stack, I have to judge this as a full stack developer, and I just don't see that. So make those changes, fix the formatting, have these, which is what we actually need, and then plug them in, and then you should, I assume, if the advice translates to Nigeria, have a pretty good time in applying for jobs for that. So let's go to the next resume. This is, you can't do this. You can't do this. You can't say software engineer or full stack engineer or iOS developer or back-end engineer or front-end engineer. Those are wildly different jobs. So since we already had full stack up, I'm just going to judge this as a full stack engineer. I think I do have the Android ones as well, but it's just like you want, what was it, Swift, Kotlin, and something else off the top of my head. But again, you cannot have a resume for all of those or else it will fail. So let's see. What is this person's ratio? Which is unknown. Man, there's a lot of unknowns in this video. All right. So 20 seconds to find this. Will I find it? Probably not because it's not specialized. And go. All right. Motivated. Don't care. Nope. Don't put that on there. Flagged. Okay. Degree. Good. Can't use anything here. Experience. Features for, okay, redacted using Swift, JavaScript, Python, and C#. Implemented data device registration, don't care. Maintain global databases, don't care. Okay, that's it. There we go. That's a delete. So, oh boy, formatting wise. Let's see. I've been out of work for about a year due to personal and family reasons. That's fair. Like, I personally won't judge you for that. Like, I think it's honestly unfair that people can't take breaks, truthfully. If we had a better world, I think everybody would be able to take a break now and then and wouldn't impact their job search. But I have to view this as a recruiter that is not that person, unfortunately. So I'm looking to get another role at another company. Would like to get some feedback. I've not been in the job market for the last 3 years, so I'm trying to shake off some rust. Okay, so that is going to be, what do you mean 3 years? It says your last job was 2024 in October, which, as we're still in December 2025, that's not 3 years. That's not that bad. Yeah, so, okay, first, you need to redo all of this, though. First off, I need you to pick a stack. You cannot do all of those. If you try to make a resume that has backend and full stack in iOS and front end, you're going to fail. I don't care that full stack is both backend and front end. The reason I say that is if you want a full stack, you're looking for full stack coded things that help with both the backend and the front end. Well, if you're looking for backend or front end, it is more specialized and they're going to want more. So a good back-end resume does not have enough front-end stuff to get you hired at a front-end role, while a really, really good full-stack resume does not have enough front-end or back-end to get you hired at any role that is looking for that isn't full-stack. So you need to pick, and not even counting iOS stuff. iOS, way different. In fact, do I have the iOS qualifications? I think I do. Yes, I do. I don't remember when those were updated, though. But these are the iOS qualifications. So that would be Swift, Objective, Swift UI, which I think you did have, which was good. REST APIs, React, mobile architecture, all this stuff. Again, I don't see it. You don't have enough. I cannot use a summary. You should not have a summary. So fix your formatting. It should look like this. Then go down here. And then what I need you to do is pick a stack, because this is, even then, this, I don't want you to say delivered key features. What? Just say created a redacted or used Swift, JavaScript, Python, and C#, which, again, see, that's not even everything I need for a iOS developer, right? This is the problem. It's still too broad, because I would need some of this other stuff. Like, I have Swift, and I care about JavaScript. Don't know if I really care about Python or C#. So, yeah, and there's nothing here in this bullet point that I could use. This maybe, like, I need you to delete all of this and redo it, okay? First off, pick a stack. It seems like iOS developer, right? I found some of the stuff here. Not enough to move you forward, right? I need 75% of this stuff, but at least enough that I think you would have a good start. And then I need you to write bullet points that say, created our blankety app using Swift, RESTful APIs, React, HTML, and JavaScript. Then the next one will be like, worked in an agile environment with CI/CD, cloud, blah, 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 and MVVM and MVC. Like, I don't care that you reduced errors. That's irrelevant. I don't care that you enhanced internal IT tools. I need you to be specific. I need you to write this resume like I don't know how to turn on a computer. And I get it. I am a tech recruiter. People can make fun of that. But I have such great success with tech recruiting that... Like, here's the part that people don't fully understand is when I take over tech recruiting for a company and I help them with it by using my methodologies, they make hires faster and higher quality and a easier process for the managers. Like, I beat all those KPIs when I do it. So I know this sounds insane, but I need you to write it for me like I didn't know that. I need you to make it very basic. And then I need you to pick one, which I think is going to be iOS. So that's all I can really do for this one. It's just, there's really nothing here I can save. Next, resume. This is a resume of a machine learning engineer. Well, technically they said AI engineer intern, but again, you kind of want to be specific, even with AI. So I'm judging this as a machine learning intern because there's a lot of different parts of AI. You could do agentic, you could do machine learning, you could do the other stuff that my mind is blanking on. So, what do we need for a ML intern as I mess up my I messed up all my formatting. Hold on a second, y'all. Just cancel that out. All right, there we go. Back. So, what do we need for an ML intern? We need machine learning, ML, Python, C, C++, SQL, PyTorch, TensorFlow, Cloud, LLM, AI, generative AI, ChatGPT, probably agentic stuff as well. So, LangChain. I don't think you need LangGraph because I don't think you're going to be making that. But yeah, so Skibbity learn that all stuff, take direction and criticism, work well with others, and your degree. And that's it. That's all we need for the intern. So let's see if I can find what I need in 20 seconds. I don't know the ratio. And go. Okay, degree, good. Worked with mentor. Okay. What mission critical? What is UAV? Don't care. Architected agentic. Okay, good. Python. Don't care about that. MATLAB and pandas don't really need presented. Where's the Python? I mean, where's the machine learning? Where's the AI? I guess it's just generalized AI. All right, so this is just a generalized AI, and I guess this is closer to agentic. Let me read what they wrote. Maybe it'll change my mind. It'll still be a decline. I graduate with a bachelor's in spring in 2026, and I'm seeking an intern for employment, intern or new grad. No, once you graduate, you should do full-time. It's very, very difficult to get an internship after you graduate. I want to be very clear. Most internships require you to still be in school. So if you're going to a master's program, that's fine. But if you already got your BA and you're graduating, you're probably not going to get any interns because you're not in school. And part of the thing about interns is you need to be in school or some kind of education thing. I'm focused on internships. Internship focused. I've been applying infrequently since the start of this hiring season, only now kicking the high gear now that my head is out of the gutter. I revamped my resume more aligned with your template. This is not my template. The one prior was horrible, 1 in 100. Let me know what you think. Okay, so, first off, again, I don't know what kind of AI specifically you're going for. I assume maybe agentic, in which case I would prefer something with maybe like LangChain or Claude or any of the other type of agentic stuff, because this is still too broad, right? And this is the kind of things you want to be focused on. Most internships can kind of get away with anything, but if you're going for this, I need it to be a little more specific, right? And then worked with mentor to understand. That's not a skill. Never, ever, ever put learned or to understand. I never want anybody to write that in the resume. That's kind of always a red flag. You want to say created or used or worked with a mentor to create mission critical stuff. But also, I don't need mission critical system design. What is that? I don't know why that's needed. Architected agentic simulations using NumPy, PyTorch. Oh, see, I missed this. There should probably be a comma. Machine learning algorithms in Python. Fantastic. I like this. UAV swarm mission success rate. See, this part I don't get. Like, what do you do? What are you making? I don't know. I understand the words, right? I understand swarming could be used technically for multi-agent systems. I understand that, agentic is sort of the new hotness and what you're architecting with that. I don't know what these do. What is a UAV? What is the optimization task? What are you doing? You didn't tell me what the purpose of. Again, I don't necessarily care what you've done. I care how you've done it, and I care that you explain that. Like, why is this related? I don't know. You didn't tell me. This one, presented explain research poster. What do you mean poster? Do you mean paper? To non-technical peers at summer symposium doesn't tell me enough. So you're close, right? I don't think this is a garbage resume, chuck it away, destroy it. It's just you're kind of, again, you're adjacent to what I'm looking for. You're trying to imply you're qualified. I don't need that. I need you to directly state, I did X, and I can do it again, because that's what gets people hired. So I created an agentic simulation using Python, NumPy, PyTorch for a machine learning algorithm to blah, 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 blah. I don't know what you did to. Right? None of this is necessarily needed. Maybe pandas. Presented and explained research poster to non-technical peers at summer symposium, which resulted in blankety blank. Again, like, did they understand it? Because I can tell you right now, I can talk to you about Warhammer 40k. That doesn't mean you're going to understand it or care for it. I have to make you interested, and you didn't show me you did that. I also don't show how you can learn with others. I kind of like the work with a mentor, though, but I really do want to see that how you took direction and criticism. That I didn't see. So, yeah, this reads very agentic-like. So, collaborative for reinforcement learning for agent scalability. Okay, so you are doing, like, multi-agent systems. Like, did you use any of the actual tools for that? Like, oh, what is it, Lee? You did this search, like, 3 weeks ago. I'm trying to remember this. Hold on. LangGraph, specifically for multi-agent systems, not LangChain. Then we'd want NXN, I think it was. The kernel system, Microsoft kernel, Amazon kernels, right? Like, I don't quite see enough necessarily even for the multi-agent systems if that's what you're going for. You really do want LangGraph for multi-agent systems and LangChain for agents. Like, that's pretty popular, so you should have that. So yeah, you don't have quite enough tech. You don't show that you can take direction and criticism. You do show you can work well with others. And I need you to redo it because, again, the formatting on this is different. This is not this. This is easy to read. This is not terrible, but could be easier. So, again, you're missing some of this stuff, even if this stuff is not related. I need you to pick a lane and then look at the job descriptions, because the job descriptions are not asking for this. You only got about 40 to 50%. I need that full 75% to move you forward. And again, you're not going to get an internship unless you're going for a master's in the US, at least after May 2026. So maybe you should start learning this instead to full-time. So that's all I can do for this episode. Thank you all for watching and joining me for my 300th episode. Here's to 3 billion more. And, thank you all. I really do appreciate it. Share it with your friends and family. And if you ever need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And you are on the path to employment, and I will see you in the next episode.